if you go to a wealth management seminar, they'll tell you that we have what's called a thermostat for the amount of money that we're going to have in our lives. And usually this thermostat is set by the experiences that we have during our early childhood and teens, by what we experience from our parents. But what very few people realize is that we also have a happiness thermostat. And that happiness thermostat is usually set on a child. I read in a book, it's called Why Love Matters, that for a child, the formative years, particularly the first 2 years or even the first 6 months, the set point for the child's happiness for their entire lives. So the more joy the child has in the first 2 years of their life, the happier that child will be throughout their lives. And basically how it was explained in the book, it comes down to the way we deal in different certain situations, and how our relationships with others, and also our ability to deal with stress and cortisol. And so a child who, for example, is left in a room to cry all night is going to have a very different way of dealing with stress from a child whose mother comes and helps to regulate that baby. So the child, as soon as the mother sees that the child is stressed, the mother helps to regulate the child, and then as the child grows older, the child learns to regulate themselves. The child who's left in a room all by themselves, you know, their cortisol system becomes overloaded. Their system, I don't know what you call that system.
Is it the endocrine?
Is it the endocrine system? It becomes overloaded, and there's basically the whole life then, the way they deal with stress is very different to...
Oh, the nervous system, you mean?
Is it the nervous system?
Nervous system, yeah.
The nervous system can be very different to the way, say, the other child would deal with stress. And there's lots of different ways that... so it's really important, as parents, if you can, to make sure that you don't let your child cry as often as possible. Make it, because usually children only cry when they're in pain or uncomfortable. Like a lot of people see us and they think, wow, you've got a baby and you're going on a long trek, and they think it's like people are kind of afraid almost, don't they? Mm-hmm. And what they don't realise is that children generally only cry when they're uncomfortable. So Indigo usually only cries when he's teething. That's pretty much, we kind of know what all these other symbols are right now. But usually the only thing that we struggle to help him with is when he's teething, and we give him chamomile tea for that, but I guess it's just pain that he goes through.
You can help soothe it and comfort him, but still he has to go through the process of his teeth pushing through, right? Yeah.
So basically what I wanted to say today is, you know, do spend time with your children and love them, and don't... As we see on television that a lot of people are kind of pushing for want to make your children independent, don't hold them too much, you know, that kind of a way, but actually the opposite happens, and that those children feel needy, they feel unloved, they feel, it actually creates the opposite effect, because once a child knows that they're loved and they're held all the time, then those children feel very comfortable to then go out into the world on their own and
securing
themselves then. And it's kind of like then you're wanting to cuddle them and they're like, no mum, I'm going now. Which is actually what we want, because we want them to feel confident and happy and independent, yeah. So I just thought I'd share that. I know I don't understand the technology of it, but it's explained in depth in the book Why Love Matters, and I can't remember the name of the author. But
you know, even if your emotional set point was set to you know, unhappiness, or a very low emotional set point, very low threshold point when you were that age, you think back, you think, oh, well, there's nothing I can do about it. Yes, you know, there is, and you can change your emotional set point, and you can, you know, through some sort of intervention or learning tools and techniques to be able to do that. So it's all changeable. You can empower yourself.
You can, and at the same time, it's more difficult to do it later on in life than it is for a child who just soaks everything up like a sponge and isn't even thinking about it. So that child, if you want your child to be happy, just, you know, later on in life, to give them the best, those first 6 months to 2 years are the most important.
Otherwise it takes years and years of reconditioning, the mind
personal
and
development and
yeah, to sort it all out.
okay, that's enough for today. Hope you enjoyed this video, and we'll see you again for another conscious parenting video in the near future.